belt, how do you think that the defense has performed?
I think we perform pretty good. Still got a few things to work on, but I think we're coming along pretty good.
You're a guy, obviously, that when there is a lack of depth in the interior defensive line position, you see it because you've got to kind of fend off those guards. What have you seen on the interior defensive line?
I feel like those guys they're making progress. You know, they're not always 100%. You know, just balling out like Jeffrey Simmons or nothing like that. But no one is. But they're coming along pretty good.
We obviously talked to you a good bit, and we know what Willie and Leo is capable of. What's a guy like Tim Washington providing that depth for you guys? A guy that's a senior and things. What does he mean to that linebacker room?
Oh, he means everything. He's a fifth-year senior. He's a guy who's stay loyal to the program. Just a guy who comes in every day. He's humble. He works his tail off, and he's a guy who's going to have a pretty good year, I believe.
How well are y'all adjusting to Coach Marv? Just kind of, he seems like he's a player's coach because he's not that much older than you guys.
Right. We're adjusting pretty good. Coach Marv, he's a guy. I've said it before. He's a guy with a lot of energy. Like you say, he's not that much older than us, so he knows he's done it at a high level. So he's a guy we can relate to.
What's your best Chris Marv story? What's one thing that sticks out, or one thing that's made you laugh, or anything like that?
I don't know if I really just have a story off the top of my head. He's just a guy who just brings it every day, though. So I love it.
How different this is this year versus last year? You're walking in, you've got a lot of preseason accolades. I know it is what it is, but has it been any different maybe for you?
No different for me. I just try to prepare the same. I'm not really into preseason stuff. I'm really just worried about first game Lafayette and just trying to win that game.
We've asked the offensive guys a lot about the difference, from installing a system and learning it and being able to perfect it. Is it the same way defensively for you guys this year? You feel like you're just more comfortable and it's more about fine-tuning everything?
Right. I feel that way. Me personally, me being a guy who's, been in the scheme, but, you got guys, younger guys who weren't in the scheme last year, maybe like freshmen or guys that just didn't, really play that much. So they got to work through the things and just find out. But, for me and the older guys, it's just about, we know the scheme now. So it's about just, like you said, fine-tuning and just seeing ways we can just make plays within the scheme.
Tell us about some of those younger guys. We know the top side do two deep pretty well, but who are some guys that you think could really play a role this year, linebacker?
Aaron Brule, he's a guy he's gonna be a good one. He comes to work every day. Nathaniel Watson, he's a guy who also is working his tail off, and those two guys are, everybody is doing their part of linebackers, but those two guys have really been doing good.
At this point in camp now, the top two guys are pretty well set in positions. How much of the role, especially the team captain, do you find that you need to help develop those guys because their turn's coming?
I feel 100% like it's my role, like it's on me, because that's what guys, did for me. When I was a freshman, Gary was playing inside backer, and that's what he helped me with. Richie was also, inside backer at the time, and he helped me, and Des Harris helped me, So I feel like it's my duty to do that.
The whole time you've been here, Leo has been here, and we're kind of seeing a different player on the practice field with him. What's changed with him? What's he doing different this year?
Just the way he's prepared. He's always been a hard worker, but this year he's just had a whole different demeanor about himself. He just wants to achieve something. A lot of people have doubted him, and I know Leo. He's a guy who he's really about the action. He's gonna have a great year, in my opinion.
Having a couple of months of it being a captain under your belt, what's the experience been like for you?
Oh, it's been great. Being a captain, it's not like a solo thing or anything. A lot of people think it's just like me solo, but I got, it's guys backing me, all the time. Like guys like Leo, you got guys, Kobe Jones, Chauncey Rivers, all those guys are, leaders of the defense. Cam Dash also.
How would you kind of characterize your leadership style? Are you more vocal? Are you more lead by example? Or are you kind of both?
I think I'm like 50-50. I feel like I'm more leaning to the lead by example role, because that's just the type of guy I'm just always been. I'm a natural quiet guy. So, but I'll try to do both though for sure.
Coach told us there'd be kind of a partial scrimmage tomorrow night, which sort of designates the end of training camp and into the game week. How ready are you all to get into a game week?
I feel like we're very ready. I don't know what practice this is. I don't even barely know the day of the week. But I feel like we're ready just to stop hitting each other. Just wrap up camp really well and just move on to game week.
You mentioned it's a little bit easier now knowing the system and all that. For you as a guy who people are going to be game planning for, how much does that make life a little bit easier? Not having to think in the back of your head, that kind of thing. Yeah,
it makes it a little bit easier. Just knowing the scheme, just being in this under Coach Shoup, for a year, before this. So it means a lot. So.